Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Margaret, and I'm part of the marketing team here at Member Solutions. And today I'm joined by Shane from Underground Fitness. And he's going to be sharing with us his story and all the great things that he is doing within his community. So, Shane, first off, let's tell the viewers a little bit more about yourself and how long you've been in business for.
This November will actually be 19 years in business. We are actually our parent company is a real estate trust, real estate holdings company, whatever you want to call it. And at one of our shopping centers that we own, we had a World's Gym here way back when in the early 2000s. They closed and we ended up opening our own gym here. And here we are 19 years later. That's kind of how we started. We owned the real estate. There was a gym in the space originally, and we decided to give it a go rather than rent to another location.
That takes a lot of guts. And
Yeah.
honestly, I would love to be able to learn a little bit more about that process of getting started, where you fumbled, where did you thrive? I'd love to hear about that.
Sure. So it was during the last financial crisis, which made it even a bigger stumble. Um, there was another gentleman who was originally opening the gym, and we were just gonna be an equity investment partner. And his idea was to have every member also personal train. So I think back then the membership was $200 initiation fee, 79.99 a month, and a 1-year contract. And then on top of that, you had a personal train for $150 an hour. So basically, after roughly a year, he only had like 160 members, and none of them were personal training or very little. And I decided that we were going to get rid of him, buy him out, and then I was going to hop in. And right away, I dropped the prices. I added a lot more equipment. I got rid of the requirement to personal train, kind of made it into more of a big box style club, and really focused on giving value to the members rather than charging them for everything a la carte. I made it all inclusive under one package: free classes, free tanning. And at the same time, we also went 24-hour access, which both helped reduce some staffing fees, but it also opened us up to a broader membership base of people who couldn't come during your normal hour.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, well, there's a lot to unpack there. You said a lot of things, but I
Sure.
want to ask, now that you have all these more diverse members coming in, what would you say makes your place special than your competition?
So again, no one's giving the value that we're giving. Planet Fitness, for instance, I'll say some of our competitors, they offer just a low price with just the gym membership. Or if you're a class-based studio, like a lot of the new ones that are popping up, they're charging you and you're only getting to take advantage of the classes. Obviously, then there's gyms that focus just on the 24-hour aspect. They tend to be on the smaller side. They're also not providing classes, and they're typically not that affordable either. So we try to keep it at a really good price point, give you everything that you could get at every gym. Not to mention, we give you the most high-end equipment. All of our equipment is touchscreen. Our cardio is touchscreen, iPhone mirroring, Netflix, cable. And then on the strength side, we have the most highest end strength equipment, brands like Strive, Life Fitness, Hammer Strength, Bolt, Arsenal, all the top brands out there. Panada, Paramount. So it's really our niche is the fact that you get everything for a really good price. That's really our value.
That's amazing. I'm really interested in seeing, since you started about 19 years ago. You were telling me just before we actually had our interview that, business has been really great. I'm really curious, for the audience who might be, just starting their journey or just a few years into their journey, at one point did you start to feel like your business was going to be successful? Like, what was that turning point for you?
Well, I would say probably about 5 years in, that's when we realized that we were really going to be successful. The biggest thing was because I was analyzing the financials of some of our competitors. Again, I don't want to name their names, but we had a lot of competition in our town. And slowly, one by one, they just kept closing. But even before they would close, a lot of them were publicly traded. And I would see them announce in 2008 or 2009, we lost 12 million. 2010, we lost 18 million. 2019 or 20, we lost 21 million. And I realized that they were selling their product less than they needed to make a profit. They're none of them were profitable. So I just realized if we could hang on long enough, that eventually the model of selling a product at a loss would not be sustainable for them. And I was right, because they're all gone and we're still here.
Wow, that's honestly a really big risk to take, but it seems like it paid off for you.
It has, yeah.
It's
and
awesome.
and for the community as well. Actually, when the last gym closed, some of the city board reps 20 years ago came to us and said, "Man, we'd really love." There was a low cost gym there then, and we would love it if you could keep a low cost, affordable gym in the area. The average gym in our town now is over $100 a month. Some as high as 300 a month. So
Wow.
it's actually a benefit to the community. It's an advantage for the town to have somewhere where people can get healthy, but at the same time, they don't have to worry about missing their rent payment or their car payment or a student loan to do so.
No, that's really great. And honestly, it seems like everything is going up all the time. Every single day, something is changing. What is your biggest like lead generator for your business right now, and how does it work?
Okay, so our biggest lead generator is pretty old school. The first thing is we're in a very busy shopping plaza in a really great area with unlimited parking. The shopping center we're in sees 10,000 cars a day go by it. So I think it's the oldest thing in the book, location, location, location. But really, you don't want to sacrifice cheap rent. A lot of these gyms are opening now in industrial parks that you can't find them, or that a woman or a child wouldn't feel safe driving to at night. Just to save money, they like the fact that their rent is cheap, but no one could find them. No one feels safe going to them. There is a lot of crime. You're hearing people's cars getting broken into at a lot of these industrial park gyms. So that's number one. Is I would say your location is our biggest lead. We have a supermarket in our shopping center. We have a national Ace Hardware store. There's so many different businesses that we all kind of synergize together. And ours, some people leave the gym and they shop at the supermarket, or there's a liquor store here. So I think the location is our number one lead generator.
That's awesome. Honestly, thank you so much for clarifying that. And honestly, being around a bunch of different anchors and supporting each other sounds like a really great boost to the community as well.
It is.
I wanted to ask if you do events, what makes them different so that we're able to learn more about how to build attendance for those events?
So we do events. I don't know that they're not bringing in new business. I mean, they have, but it's more to give back. For instance, when the LA wildfires a couple years ago, we did a big it was called like a marathon class, marathon boot camp class, where all the proceeds went to benefit the victims of the wildfires. We've done local stuff for the American Cancer Society with Stanford Toyota, which is a local car dealership. We did an indoor marathon on our treadmills. Different businesses. Toyota had one, a pizza place. Everyone had a team, and their team would take turns on the treadmill to get to the 22 or however many miles the marathon was. So again, we've done tons of different events. We've done some in our parking lot, Zumba classes in our parking lot. But again, they're usually based around giving back, donating, and they do bring us some new members, but that's really not the point of them. It's really to show a sense of community, engage with our community and give back.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with events as well as, the driver behind them. Just because it's not a focused on, bringing in new members, it does, echo into the community and, shares goodwill. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I bet it helps with brand awareness some as well.
Oh, yeah. So some other things that I did want to ask. We have talked before, but I was really interested in learning a little bit more about how things have been going at the beginning of 2026 for you so far.
So yeah, 2026, I noticed that we had, by the way, we had a bitter cold winter. I'm guessing Halifax did as well, but Connecticut had one of its worst winters, highest snowfall totals in the recent memory, I'd say over a decade. So I think there just wasn't a lot of people leaving their house in general. So because of that, I would say, our January and February were about the same as last year, if not a hair slower. But as soon as the weather broke, crazy. And I think people may have gotten a little out of shape being stuck home all winter, and they realize, they're going to be in a bathing suit very shortly. So yeah, like I said, as soon as the weather got a little warmer here, as you can see, I'm in a short sleeve and shorts now. It's been, way higher than last year, which was already a great year.
That's amazing. Would you be all right with reiterating to me the most recent sort of strategy that you had used to bring in more members recently? I think it was related to university students.
Absolutely. So we run two specials a year targeted at college students or any students in general. Students in general. One is over the Christmas break, which we call the winter college special. But again, high school, anyone can take advantage of it. That's typically a 1 month membership that takes them from when they return home on college break through the holidays, through New Year's, and then to when they return home. And then we have another special, which we call the Student Summer Special, which we've been selling in droves. That is when they return home from school to when they go back. And the nice thing about it is it's one payment. They don't have to worry about any monthly charges, and they don't have to worry about canceling either. They know when they go home, they're done.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
No, no problem.
One of the things I wanted to ask, because you had brought up that you had a pretty rough winter, what has been one of the biggest challenges within your business this year, and how would you go about solving it for the later part of this year?
So I could say one thing is energy costs. A lot of people, with the gas prices being so high, it's affecting electric, it's affecting heating, it's affecting air conditioning. So we are actually working with our local utility provider. They're running some programs that if you install new systems that are both energy efficient, which is going to save you on your monthly bill, they also are giving you some rebates to take advantage of that now as well. So that's something where, we saw some spikes over the winter. We're seeing some spikes now that we're trying to take advantage of by upgrading our HVAC and some of our other systems that we can lower our bills and also get some money back on the rebate.
So, when it comes to that hurdle, I want to ask, what was one core principle that you have been able to consistently follow over the last few years that's helping you to keep your business running smoothly right now?
Core principle, again, I'm going to go back to the value and, keeping your customer happy. Like I said, a lot of the businesses in fitness you see now are super targeted, whether they're one style workout like spinning only or boot camp only, some type of treadmill boot camp class. We're the opposite of that. Rather than specifying, we're giving you everything. And we just feel like, especially in this high inflation environment, people can't have 5 different gym memberships. They need everything under one roof at an affordable price. So if we can keep our consumer happy, make that a core value for us, give them everything that they could want under one roof at a great price, keep the gym clean, keep all the equipment brand new, keep buying new equipment. We always trade it in and out, very fast. That's kind of our core principle.
Wonderful. So now that we've kind of talked about, some of the really cool things that you have done over the years, I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on some of the biggest pain points that I'm sure that you have experience with since you've been around for so long. So we would love to be able to hear your honest feedback on certain things. So like one of the things I wanted to ask was, what is like, for example, your cancellation percentage right now? And has it been different this year versus last year?
Cancellation percentage. So here's something interesting. The city that we're in, when we first started, our average member was, say, 35-year-old father. He owned a house, had a couple of kids, and he'd be a member for like 7 years, was a long-term member. However, over the last 20 years, our city has transitioned from single-family homes to high-rise skyscrapers, rental only. So because of that, the average age of the resident went from like someone in their 40s down to someone in their mid 20s to early 30s, no kids, single, maybe a young couple, and has become very transient. They're moving here for their first job. They just graduated college and they got a new job or they got let go and now they're moving to Nashville or they're moving to Chicago. So because the city has become more transient, we've noticed both a higher cancellation rate than in years past, but also a higher joining rate. So it's like we're getting more and we're losing more because of the way the demographics of the city have changed.
Interesting. And
Yeah.
now that you're kind of like trying to go with the ebbs and flows, what are some of the things that you are doing in order to able to both keep those members happy so that they stay, as well as how to retain the relationship if they do decide to cancel?
So we have always been under the opinion that if you don't want to be a member here, we don't want to keep you here. We're not trying to, get any extra money from you. If you're not using the club and you don't love it here, we want you to find somewhere you love. So we have never had a contracted membership here. Our monthly, you could cancel at any time. You just have to give us 30 days notice because that's what the credit card processor requires from us. However, it's funny you asked that because just this year, our state, the state of Connecticut, passed legislation that now everybody has to do that. All monthly members can no longer bind people to these contracts. And what did we notice? As soon as that went into effect, all our competitors who were made their money of locking people in, they had to raise their price because they couldn't count on the money any longer. If you joined that gym last year, say they were $19.99, they knew they had you locked in for a year. Now that that rule went into effect, they right away went to like 35 a month or 38 a month or 48 or 58, whatever. They've all had to jump pretty drastically to make up for the fact that they don't have you locked in for any period of time. So we've kept ours obviously the same way they always have. If you don't want to be here, we let you go. We refund people who aren't happy. Yeah, we like I said, we're not trying to make our bones by locking anybody in somewhere they don't want to be.
No, that's honestly a really great way to be. And it's a way that, may open the doors up to them coming back again if they do end up coming back from Nashville or
It 100% has because of how open door our policy is. Like, you want to go, you can go. We see an extremely high rate of people coming back. Just this morning, I was going over some of the signups from last night. I think 6 people who, took some time off, they decided to come back because they know they're not going to pay for any extra month. Like, they canceled and then they're still going to get billed for 4 months. Also, we offer a policy where if you want to freeze, we don't charge you anything except the annual fee once in November, whereas our competitors in our town all charge you a reduced rate to stay frozen. Now, how much sense does that make? You're still paying, but you can't go?
no, that's a really great insights. Thank you so much. So, for anyone who might be new to this type of business track, they're just starting out, what would you say is one of the biggest business statistics that you should track?
Well, I'd say you definitely have to watch your overhead, your total running cost in the beginning. I'd say that's extremely important because you'll know right away if you could make a go of it or not. If you're just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, that's tough. But a metric that you'd probably want to look at is again your usage rate. I want to see, are your members actually, your utilization rate, I should say, are your members actually coming? If they're not coming, they're probably not going to be a member long term, and they probably won't come back. They're not a happy member if they're not using your gym, I would say.
No, that's fair. We're actually just having, I realize that we're getting pretty close on time and I want to respect your time. I did have one more question that I want to ask. And then, yeah, so the one thing that I want to ask, is there any go-to tips for getting new members in the door and keeping them there long term? Any sort of tips that you would recommend to another business owner like yourself?
Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if your current members are happy because you're giving them a great product and a great value, they're going to spread the word for you. That's honestly, we do have a very small social media presence. Honestly, it's really, if your core members are happy, they're going to be your walking billboards. They're going to love the way they look. They're going to tell people about it. They're going to want them to work out with them. They say, their sister's going to say, "Oh, I need to lose 5 pounds for a wedding." They say, start coming with me to Underground. I honestly believe that's the best way to grow your business, is from within.
Wonderful. Shane, thank you so much for your time today. And I really, really do appreciate you sharing your insights with us and all of our audience. So
It's my pleasure.